This is the second way to explain it, to show it to you in a graph. This is a slide with a logical view of all transformation within a single ADFS server. There's incoming claims, outgoing claims, extra queries. Mind you, this is the orange server, this is the IdP. And here we see the same number 1 acceptance transform rule, number 2 issuance authorization rules, number 3 issuance transform rules. First we will look at what happens when we authenticate and issue claims from an Active Directory. We have authenticated the user, so the user has a Win32 token. .NET converts that nicely into strings, and that is what we have as claims from an Active Directory. Then the claims go into the acceptance transform rules. The default claims from an ID is pass forward more or less everything. But one could do all kinds of queries, and then we would step to the next part, that is the relying party configuration part of this orange server. In number 2, we have to decide go or no go. We could do that by looking at the include claim or using include claim values in a query to another store. As long as you don't emit a deny claim and do emit at least one permit claim, the process will continue. Otherwise, it's over after this engine run. So we go to the next one. And each claims engine is a claims engine. Again, we can do all kinds of queries. Now from an AD, a common place to do extra queries for extra attributes is right here. This is where we fetch whatever, email name, UPN, group memberships, etc. In fact, some of that data is already in the input set, but for instance as a SID, as a SID, not as a normal group name. Here we are at the orange server. Here we are going to configure the identity provider. To be able to use a claim in the user interface, one has to define a claim type. You do that by add claim. Then here you fill in the URI. It's very common to have a URL in the URI. Here you fill in the friendly name. Whatever nice string, of course, not the word friendly name. And then here at the bottom are 2 buttons. The top is publish this claim in metadata as can accept, and the one at the bottom is can send. I leave them empty because it just makes the metadata file bigger and there's not much use to it. And it is certainly not automatically imported in another UI or enforced by any of the claims checkers. But do whatever you like, this is not fundamental. I've already filled in the names that we are going to need just to avoid typos. Let's take a look at the claims. Some of them are predefined, some of them were clearly added by myself. This is a list of Microsoft's claims that were defined for WIF and ADFS2. Here we see claims defined by PSPAR, their local mobile and telephone number. And here some claims defined by the expense application that you've seen before. These are the good old ADFS1 claims. They all start with schema 6ml soap org claims and then whatever. Here are the identity card claims. And this one are very nice. You will quite often see this in the university federations. They have defined all kinds of claims for their things. For instance, mail, the edu person. But another one is very interesting. Very popular nowadays is to just convert the given name, an LDAP attribute, to the attribute object identifier and put that in URN-OID. This is a form of reusing something that already has a unique identifier to avoid creating new claims. Okay, let's go and take a look at our claims engines. First, Claims Engine 1, edit claim rules, and there we are. These are the claims that come from the Active Directory. So, Windows Identity has an account name, here it goes. It has a name, there it goes. There are some SIDs in there it goes. If you want, you can add things too. This one was added for an expense application, of course. So that was Claims Engine number 1. Let's cancel this to avoid changing things that we didn't want to change. Then we go to Relying Party. Here is a list of relying parties. There's a local WIF demo that you may have seen. And there is the downstream issuer. Let's take a look at their claims. Here we have some claims too. But this is Rules Engine number 3, and we are first going to go to Rules Engine number 2. This is the issuance authorization rule. We must issue a permit claim. Value of the claim is not important, just the claim presence. Otherwise, no claims will be issued to the relying party. If any denied claim is issued, then claims are not forwarded. Let's take a look at this claim. And there's not much to see. It's just the default, and usually you just say OK, but you can add claims rules here if you want to. Okay, let's go to Claims Engine number 3. We are configuring the rules that are valid for a local user, because we're configuring the IdP that will go to the green server, the downstream issuer. So how we do that? Issue some Active Directory attributes. We do edit rule and we're going to add some of them. So this is a query that if a user is a local user and it goes to a relying party, then this query is done and the UPN from the AD is stuffed in the UPN claim. The email address goes to the email claim. Token groups go to role. Here are some claims for the expense application, and we are going to add some of them. The LDAP attribute that we are going to add is telephone number, and we are going to put it in the PS part telephone. I have to get used to this interface. They have a tendency to disappear quite suddenly. Then there's the mobile attribute, which is the mobile number. And we're going to put it in there. This is a bit of a nightmare, this user interface. You'll get used to it. At least I did. And we are going to put this in the partner mobile definition. So I've added 2 attributes from the AD to 2 claims. So the next time we'll have those claims to apply. We have defined the claims extraction on the identity provider. Just remember, there are 3 claims engines. We've done one which extracts it from the AD. The yes-no claims engine, we left at default, and we added 2 telephone attributes to each user that goes to the green server.